Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate and Stuff, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of real estate investing and the random stuff that makes life interesting. I'm John Whitfield, joined by my co-host, a very blurry Papa P from Ted Sysops, and Carlos Mora from InvestorFuse and Carrot. Today, we are continuing our journey into the automations that make a sequence pretty exciting in InvestorFuse. So last week we started working on a new sequence. And so this one is an opportunity going cold, 2-week blend. So Brandon, why don't you give us kind of like a little synopsis for people who maybe missed last episode, what this sequence is trying to do. We did kind of work between episodes, so we have a good, like the message is pretty much ready to pop in. We'll do some AI checking for compliance and stuff. But yeah, break us down what you want this sequence to do for your leads.
Would help if I had my microphone on. Testing. Is the studio back there? Okay, technician gave me the thumbs up. So like one of the biggest issues we have, is the general follow-up, right? But there's different phases of it. So we worked on the initial one as soon as you get a lead until you contact them, the initial one, right? The first 4 days, the most important 4 days. But then once I talk to them, whether it's on day 1, day 2, day 3, you know what I mean? And then they say to me, and this happens a lot. It's like, hey, I don't know. Maybe it's a quick, hey, I'm in the middle of something, call me tomorrow. Or maybe you have like a convo and they say, okay, well, I gotta talk to somebody, my husband's not home, whatever the objection is. And you don't want to move down the offer timeline, right? You want to stop here because giving an offer is not going to work at this point. You need to give them something to do, homework, whatever. And they say, call me blank. I need something for when they don't pick up. Right. And I call on that scheduled time and I say, hey, listen, I have some free time tomorrow. Let me see when I can fit you in my schedule. They say 2 p.m. 2 p.m. comes. I call. Nothing.
Does that ever happen? Does that ever happen? A seller tells you a time or they tell you a price?
I never thought that was a thing.
Okay.
Never. I honestly didn't think sellers would ever have the audacity to not pick up for me once they told me to call them on a certain time. But, no, it does happen. It happens so much, even with the people that you think are going to be like, not easy,
difficult,
but like, no, like people that you're like, wow, okay. Like they were, like the vibe was there. Like they were responsive. They went along with everything. They participated in the convo. They had motivation, ability. You know what I mean? There was pain there. Like they just needed to something. Like we weren't.
You're
ready.
joking. You're building rapport on something. You're talking colleges. Their kids going to college. You're going to college. You'd be surprised. I was emphasizing with sarcasm how often this may happen and why this is so important to have set up.
Well, that and something I'm learning on another side of like my marketing is just like we often forget that time kills all deals. Well, time also kills all relationships. And what I mean by that is the longer you go away from the initial contact, the further you get from authority and remembrance, right? So if I don't talk to Carlos, if I talk to Carlos and I feel like we're like best buddies on Monday, just because I'm thinking about you every day and I'm in love with you and I'm obsessed with you and I'm telling my mom about you, my friends, I'm telling them my whole team about how great this seller was, you don't think about me again, most likely. And then you don't pick up for me. So now I go 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, maybe day 14, you finally pick up again. I've now lost authority with you. And I start back with who is this? So I want to be able to stay, even if they don't respond, I want them to see my emails, see my text messages, see my phone number coming up. And that way it's like, hi, this is Brandon. This is Brandon, my picture in my email. So no matter what, when I do get a hold of them, I'm trying to minimize that distance from authority that happens when you're doing a manual, faulty type of follow-up. So
love that. Couldn't agree more. Like very well said.
Cool. Well, so we've got
my stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up here on my other screen. I'm not going to share the doc. I have 3 shared here. So I want to make sure that what we have set up here, you have in the doc. So you've got week 1, day 1 call. The initial call was scheduled, but they didn't respond to. And then we have the immediate text that goes out. Boom, cool. And then
So
day 2.
hang on. This is 1 month. I just want to be clear. This is a 1 month follow-up system. We put 2 weeks at the top, but I
Oh,
changed it.
you're changing it? Okay.
I did
4
1
weeks.
month because I kind of broke it down into different kind of categories by the week of like
Okay.
level of what was that? Slim Shady. Do you stand?
All right. Let me pull this up. Sure. Okay, cool. All right. And then so day 2, we've got a text that goes out at 9:06 a.m. Good morning. I had some time today. Did you still want to chat? Boom. And then we've got
So
an
let's
email that
also
also
hang
goes
on.
out.
Let's also change. So one thing I was thinking, we want to not send them at the same time every morning too, because
Yeah.
that also tells you that it's not a legitimate thing. So kind of switch it around a
Agreed.
little bit, 9:15, 9:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And we'll kind of do that as we're going throughout throughout this theme in a couple of these things on my sheet. John, why don't you share the sheet real quick? Just let's let
All right.
people see what we're working from. And then we can even, if anybody wants this, and we can send it out to them if they're. All you got to do is subscribe, hit the subscribe button, send me a picture of you subscribing to it, and I'll send you our 1 month ghosting follow up. So we kind of set it up like this. So we got multiple days here, AM, PM, what goes out those days, and I made sure that they all kind of flow. So they're picking up the emails, pick up on the text pick up on the time of the day they are, or from the day before's message or email. So they all kind of flow pretty good until you get to the very end where basically I'm walking at that point. Like, it's just like, okay, well, I guess that's the decision. You don't want to sell anymore type of thing.
Not sure if you're getting these emails. I like it. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So subscribe, send Brandon a screenshot on his Instagram. What is your Instagram? Mr. Real
At
Innovative?
Mr. Real Innovative, yeah.
And then he will send you his fancy document.
You can you can copy it. Just switch some stuff around if I send it to you. Going after the same lead and it's like verbatim.
All right.
So, and we pick the phone number that these go out from.
The texting phone number?
Yeah, we already did that.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. I mean, you've got not Ring Central. You've got smartphone integrated into here, and we've set up smartphone for outbound texting, and then you set it up on your individual user to make sure that user
we did that the first week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we did that on episode 1 of this series.
Call scheduling with home offer, please. Hey, okay, cool. Call later. Okay, so then you have day 2. So PM. Okay, cool. You want this task to like assign at what time on that second day?
So I would always be putting them around noon. You know what I mean? That's what I would say.
Cool.
So that way I'm calling right around that time. So, 11 to 12, that task is created. So I put in there call manual or as part of a dialer follow-up. Honestly, the most ideal thing is that these things are being put into your dialer every day in called. You notice there is each one of these days that's on here. Now we skip days, right? We don't have all 30 days. They're not being contacted. There are skips in between. But the idea would be that these things would be imported into your dialing for that day. And if you want to call the other days, that's fine too, but it's nice to rest them.
It is nice to rest them. All right, I'm going to take your text message here for day 3 a.m. and just check it.
So where are we at? So day 3, we're saying morning. Did you get my message yesterday? Was today good to connect? I want to make sure I leave some time available to chat if you're good, and I didn't put the apostrophe or whatever it is in the your, because I want it to seem as natural as possible. So keeping some mistakes in there, you would call it texting mistakes. But again, talking about my schedule, I never say, are you free? Or like, it's like, hey, when can you talk? I try to stay away from the when can you talk. Are
Assume
you
they're
available?
available.
Yeah, I assume
Yeah.
they're available and that I'm busy. So I'm always trying. It's really hard. I try to correct myself a lot because it's, naturally we really want to just be available for them. But I have to pretend like, let's see if I can fit you in, bruh.
All right, now we're on to an email.
So the email is going to be, morning, what does your schedule look like today? We missed our call the other day. Would not want this to get left behind on our purchases this month.
You want this to go out like pretty soon right after?
No, I mean, so what time did you have the text go out?
Hold on.
Yeah, I would send that out around like 10, 11.
Okay. I miss my double monitors that are back in Gainesville. All right.
I'm sure. Especially you.
Okay. There we go. All right. What did you say? What time do you want this out? Right after 8:55?
No, I'd send it out at like 10:35.
10:35 a.m.
I hate sending emails between the hours of 8 and 10. I mean, I will. But like that's when everybody sends their emails, and then I don't know about anybody else, but I have this thing where it's like a purge where I don't give a shit. It's just click, 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 delete. And that's like all my morning emails that come in at 8 o'clock on the freaking dot. But then throughout the day, I get less and less. So it's nice to be mixed in with those and not the early morning ones. It's just kind of something I have kind of just my email behavior.
Is that the formatting you want? Like first name, comma, morning, comma, what? Like this?
Oh,
all right.
Oh, no. That was because obviously that's a
like
paragraph.
This.
Yeah. Because of the way my Word document, the way the Word document was, I didn't want to create multiple bullet points, so I figured you would pick up on that and just edit it for me.
That's funny. I definitely messed that up there. All right. So there's the email there. We're on day 3, email 1. All right. So now you need your call task. So we're doing day 3, call 1. And we're going to do a custom task here. And we're going to call this cool opportunity owner.
I need to get LASIK.
LASIK, man. Big fan of LASIK.
Yeah.
Come down to Miami, dude. Dr. Chu. She'll hook you up. University of Miami, Bascom Palmer. Anybody in South Florida looking for LASIK? It was a 5-minute procedure. She tapped my head, and I could see when I used to not be able to see past my hand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
just like a Jesus thing.
She's like Moses. She's like an Asian eye specialist surgeon, Moses.
Oh, well, that's not Moses. That's what do they call them? I can't think of it. I know what you're talking about, though. What day are we on here?
We're still on day 3.
I want to make sure.
You want 2 calls?
No.
So, yeah, you want a call in the AM and you want to call in the PM.
Oh, yeah. Because this is day 3. This is my last. I think I do 4 days of just like onslaught. Just like, bro, I'm getting you.
What's that, like 4 o'clock to you?
Are we in the AM or PM?
PM. PM
yeah,
call.
So PM call is going to be around 4 to 5 o'clock.
All right, cool. Let's do 4. Gives you some time to get to it. All right, now we're doing day 3, text 2. Let me take a look at your text here. Stick it through the compliance checker.
And for me, a lot of it doesn't have to do with the timing of the call. Is as long as you're calling during those days, because the texts and the emails are independent of them. I do not have any of these automated texts saying, "Hey, I just called you." That's what I used to do in my manual stuff. But these are more referring to previous things, yesterday, the conversation they did have, not about like, "Hey, I just this or that." So really, whether you call them, it's just important that those first couple of days you're trying to tap them twice, 2 phone calls, if at least 1 phone call a day, sometimes twice a day. And then after that, it gets pretty lenient because you don't want to be harassing them. You just want to stay top of mind for when they change their mind.
When you want this text to go out?
I have had an HVAC lead block me on an iPhone number for that.
How do you know if they blocked you?
My texts don't get sent anymore. When I call, it goes like straight to.
Okay.
So for this one, I would want it to go out around 4 o'clock because, I do stuff in tons, but also I want to make sure I have time. If they do say, yes, give me a call in like 30 minutes, I don't want it to be sending out unless my text specifically says I'm leaving for the day. Then those ones I like to go out like at 5:50. So that way for my Texas time, it'd be 4:50. And for my Florida time, it would be 5:50. So either way, it's a viable message.
Well, Papa P, one quick insight for InvestorFuse current members and future InvestorFuse members. If a seller calls, texts, or emails you back, the sequence automatically pauses so that you're not hitting anything automatically.
I noticed that the other day, and I thought that was nice because it wasn't always like that years ago.
That's right. We've had feedback, John, of different perspectives. Yeah, we've had feedback from different perspectives of people that want it to automatically stop, and then people that don't want it to automatically stop in case they're not able to get it.
I mean, if I feel as if they respond, there's no reason why you wouldn't want it to stop, because if you can't get to it, the last thing you want is for it to
look like an idiot.
Yeah, to look like an idiot and to lose all credibility with them because they say, yeah, give me a call, and then your next message goes out and it's some bullshit like, never heard from you, dear Stan. Why the fuck aren't you calling me anymore? I called, wrote, and like.
I left a text, a ringless voicemail, and my phone number at the bottom. No, I hear you. That's just a surprise. I'm surprised as well that we still have a good percentage of people that want the messages to keep going. It's an argument as old as time.
I don't know.
It is, and that's like always the philosophy that I've had is that people that want it automated, and you know what? Like this is something talking about the future of InvestorFuse. I feel like this is an area where AI can assist in helping. Is should the sequence be resumed or should you go take a look at it? AI actually has the capability to analyze the messages because what they're saying is like sometimes people saying no, I'm not ready yet, and they still want the message to continue, and they're saying their team doesn't have time to go look at all of these things, and so they still want the sequence to go out. But I'm in the boat of Brandon of like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but if you get somebody who does respond and has a deal and you look like an idiot because of an automated sequence, you just lost the deal and it's not worth the risk.
So I would argue with that person, like, let's just hypothetically say that they're doing a lot of leads and I think you would be then, the fact that you would have that many people responding on that many sequences tells me you might be spamming people at that point. Like you shouldn't have that much going on in your sequences that your team can't fucking go through and see what it is, because logically would say that if they say I'm not ready right now, you would want to put them on a different type of sequence, which we're going to do, not next episode. We're going to do an offer sequence. Once they ghost me on an offer, I have 2 of them, like a verbal and a contract. You have a contract drawn out and you have a verbal offer, those 2. And then we're going to do a cold sequence for when a lead goes cold. And that's what that would be. They go cold. They basically are saying, I'm putting you on ice right now. That would switch to a completely different tempo and a different type of message. So I don't know why you wouldn't want that, but hey, I mean, not everyone.
The 2 T's in property, I get down with that.
So where are we at on this one? I want to make sure we're reading some of these to people so they understand kind of the theme. So it's like day 4. So day 4, I just do a text and a call in the morning. It's heavier, a text and that's it, no call. So it's like, hey, okay, I basically been blasting you for 3 days. And now I'm like, have not heard back from you about the property. We could put this on the back burner if you want. So I'm not pulling away from them by day 4. And I'm hoping, and that's why I'm not calling and I'm not emailing. I'm just like sending a quick text in the morning to see if I get a response. If not, then I have a PM call task that happens. And like, okay, and then I have a midday text. So the midday text is going to be something like, did you want to push this conversation out further? I assume you're not ready to discuss the deal right now. Discuss it in more detail right now. So like that kind of plays off the earlier one, because now I'm going to ghost you for like about 2 days. I'm not going to talk to you for 2 days. Then day 6 comes along and I'm just going to email you, you know what I mean, with a quick text. And so it kind of makes this flow of where like I disappear for a moment and then I come back, follow up with them again, and then disappear for another couple days. And I'm going to keep doing that dance.
Love it. I'm just checking your text messages. So far, you've been writing completely compliant text messages, so good job.
Not surprised by that. Papa P's a compliant guy.
I am.
All right, no, see, I spoke too soon. The AI does not like this one. It instead would prefer that you say this because you're making urgency. What do you want to do, Brandon? You want to use your original text?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to use my original one.
All right. Going to go into the borderline gray area of not being kind. You're not using any words that it's the phrase it doesn't like.
The other one sounded too beta. It was like, would you please, sir, please talk to me, sir. Talk to me at a later time. Let me know. I'll be sitting here waiting.
All right. 12:12. So you have a call task at 12 p.m. but then you have a text at 12:12. You're good with that?
No, I'm not good with that. So that text midday, I should be like 2 o'clock. That's midday to me. If it was noon, I would have meant noon. I would have said noon. For me, midday is like, I guess I should have specified and said mid-afternoon. Mid-afternoon would have been better, but yeah.
All right, cool. And then an email. Day 4 email.
And if anybody watching, if you also notice, I keep my headers, my subject lines always the same. I want all of my subject lines the same. I want them all the same, bro. I don't want to get lost in your shit. I want them to know exactly what the fuck it is, repeating over and over. When I did it manually, I'd keep it all in the same chain because I want them to see the chain of emails, not an individual, but like I just keep replying back to my same email over and over and over again.
Yeah, we're going to look into making email chaining happen. I don't quite know how to do it, but doesn't mean it's not possible.
Oh, it's definitely possible. I'm sure there's a way.
What time do you want this email to go out?
So that one, I reached out the other day. So the email says, I reached out the other day, like I said I would, did not hear back from you. Don't want to be a burden if you're not ready to discuss further. At this point in the month, I just want to make sure we can allocate a spot for you on ABC Street if you are ready. I'd put that motherfucker out there at like 5.
All right. Moving on to day 6. So we're going to skip a couple days.
You know, John, I'm just going to throw this out here for you. Like, just FYI. Just, this is, you know, you should have a button or a toggle switch that switches it automatically to Spanish mode.
Wow.
So, like,
takes the language. What? What do you mean? The sequence?
All of that. So basically all of that would be the same thing, but in Espanol. So that way, if I have a lead that speaks Spanish as a gringo dude who doesn't speak Spanish, it'd be nice for me just to be like, boom, send this out in Spanish. And then when they respond, I can translate it. You know what I mean? Like that would be huge from a CRM side. So for that one in your.
How often does that happen? I'm not opposed to this
so
idea
much,
at all.
Dude. I mean, really? Most guys have somebody on their team or have a connection with someone who speaks Spanish, though. I mean, like, I always had someone Spanish on my team, or else now I know somebody and I'll just shoot it over to them.
Interesting.
Translate Now is a really good app. I wonder if it could integrate with something like that.
Which one?
Translate Now. It should be a native iOS app. Let me take a look.
That'd be funny, though. You start sending them out and people are like, what the fuck? I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, Translate Now.
Send it out. You're just sending out to anyone with a Spanish last name like Garcia or something. And it's like, wow, I don't speak Spanish. I've been in America my like generations.
Oh gosh.
Assumptive sequencing.
We're on day 6. Oh, see, everything's starting to blur together. I am doing this wrong. All right, Dave. No, 5. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think we could revamp how you build sequences.
Oh yeah, I'm already. It's fun kind of doing this live.
More of
a
mind map kind of layout would be so much better.
Yeah,
where like you connect, you drag blocks and stuff. So like everything you're doing, but you could drag the blocks over and fill them out, and then you could get a big visual of how your sequence goes. That would be nice.
Yeah. What program is that? I've seen the Carrot team internally using something like that for.
I mean, a lot of the like bigger email campaign builders are like that. So the Carrot team uses Keep. And then here at InvestorFuse we have Active Campaign. Both of them have those mind map features for building like long-term email sequences. Okay. Wait. Oops. I don't need this. What time do you want this call task? Like 12?
So, what one is this one? Is this our first one of the day? This
first
is
one of the day, day 6.
EOD, so that would be, it says EOD next to it. So it says try to
text,
call today.
But what is the call task?
Oh, the call task would be right before it. So if that's going to be end of day, just put like 3 o'clock. Notice that. Okay. So the idea is I'm spacing it out and I'm calling at different times. I don't want to like call this guy every day in the morning, and I also don't want to call him every day at lunch. So like if I call one day in the morning, the other day I'm going to call in the afternoon. You know what I mean? Like I'm just going to kind of keep mixing it up. Not like it's planned, but like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about this guy. Let me just give him a call. Which may be difficult. Some people put it in a dialer, and when it dials is when it dials. So we skipped 2 days. We're now on day 8. I think we're finishing up day 6, and then we'll cruise to day 8. So day 6 has just that. So we did an email in the morning, and now we're doing a text at the end of the day. And then the next day we go to day 8 would be next. I mean, I thought I did my little address. That's it, not street address.
Yeah, you didn't do them in IF3 format. It's all right.
I thought I did. I thought it was street_address for IF3.
Okay. End of day is what? 5, 6, 4?
Yeah, 5's fine.
All right.
Now we're going to go to day 8. Yeah. And then after day 8, we go to day 11. And day 8's really simple. Day 8's a call task and just a text. That's it. That's it. It's a call task. I waited now 2 days. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 2 days, checking back in with you on day 6, skip 7, come back to you on 8. And with just a text, nothing else. You know what I mean? Well, a call task, but no other, not double texting, no morning text, no morning emails, nothing. Just a late day, midday, 2 o'clock text message. And the text is going to go something like this. Remember, we're 8 days from when they said to call them. Have not heard back from you. Was there something I did to make you change your mind on ABC Street? Hope I didn't mess this up for us.
Switching the conversation around.
Yeah, that's a John Martinez move.
Yeah.
So I stole that from John Martinez. He calls it his magic message. I don't think it's verbatim, but it's the general gist of like, oh, shucks. And then you want the person to say, no, you didn't mess it up. It's me. I changed my mind. You're basically, what's it called? Is it gaslighting? Is that what the kids call it? Gaslighting?
Yes, I believe so. You want this to go out midday? Is that 2 o'clock for you again?
Yeah. I don't know. I try to keep up with what the kids say today. I try to be cool around my daughter and saying like cool shit, and then she just like glares at me. Like, yo, that's so mid, bro. Why you capping?
What does
this
midday
bussin'? Mid, from my understanding, is just like average. Bussin' is like what we would call sweet.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah. Riz is like when you got game, like what we would call having game. They call it having
charisma.
Riz.
I like that.
Yeah, charisma. No, Riz.
Well, Riz comes from charisma. I learned that recently.
Oh, I get it. Oh, I
kind of like that.
I did not know. You're a regular Rizzler, aren't you, bro? Fucking Rizzler.
I'd say all of our Riz is pretty solid.
I don't know. There's so many. I just can't keep track of them all. I try. All right, where are we at here? So now we skip to day 11. Day 11 now. So here's something that I did, right? So day 1 through 4, I was double tapping text. I was hitting them at all angles. Day 6, kind of slowed it down. Day 8, I just did a text. Now, day 11, I swap it and I just do an email, no texting, because I basically exhausted text messages for the first week. Double texting some days, calling, double texting, and emailing. So then days 8 after week 1 is just a text. Day 11, 3 days later, is just an email. And then we wait another 3 days to go into our next one, day 14. So I keep getting kind of further and further away. And then at the end of the month, I reverse it and condense it down to every day again as I'm walking away from you.
I like it.
I don't know, dude. I feel like people should subscribe and request their 6-page follow-up.
If I was a real estate investor, I would for sure want this follow-up.
If I was a real estate investor trying to riz up some sellers with solid sequence copy,
with some sequence copy that's busting, bro. No cap.
Not at all. None whatsoever.
No cap, bro. I don't know. There's something I still have yet to learn what Ohio means. They say something about like Ohio something. Yeah, it's like a term they use, and I can't figure out. I've been meaning to Google it and figure out what the slang for this is.
You could also make, just now we're thinking out loud here, building in public, we could make some different sequence copy for age demographic of sellers too. You have some like 20-year-old.
Yeah, like that's not a bad idea if like you had the ability to do it. Be like, AI, please write me something for Gen Z. Be like,
right.
Yo. I can't even speak it. Yo,
they probably would.
Your property is super mid. You probably need a cash offer. No cap.
Send your Riz homeboy a text back.
Yeah. All right, where are we at? So now we're on day 14. Morning. Did you want our office? So now here's where so now I'm on week 2. So week 1 was about like getting them and trying to say, hey, you never got a hold of me. Hey, I'm trying to get in touch with you. Do you still want to do this type thing? And now week 2 is where I start to kind of pull away and I'm like, morning, did you want our office to just put ABC Street on pause for purchases this month? Would that be in line with what you were thinking? And really that gives them permission to say yes to me, right? In the people hate saying no, so I wanted to switch it. And instead of saying, no, I don't want to sell, I just want them to simply say, yeah, that's it. Because I'm looking for them to just tell me to leave them alone. Honestly, that's all we could ever want. We want to get rid of leads that are not valid. So if they've changed their mind, let me know, and I'll put you on like
down the pipe or out the pipe, as I always say.
That's some solid Riz there. One thing I thought of, Papa P, the book. What's the popular influence book? Robert Cialdini. there's a tenant in there. I was thinking about this when building out the sequences. I didn't throw it in Slack. But the percentage of people saying yes or responding when you give a reason for doing something dramatically increases. So I think that's a little thought to keep in mind when doing this copy.
So John, you're going back
that you
through
were correct.
I was just gonna look to get the public apology.
Yeah,
Bada bing,
you were
bada
correct.
boom.
I was doing the full address, which is not a good thing to put in all this, because who in their right mind writes a message and puts the full address?
Filipinos.
The producer in my earpiece is telling me that well, we're trying to say there are VAs that aren't trained the right way.
Yeah, typically Filipinos. The reason why is
14,
they're very formal in everything that they do.
That is true, and
they are.
That is actually a pleasant cultural phenomenon when dealing with them.
So where are we at? So we're on call. So now we're gonna do call and then an email. So this is an end of the day email that we're gonna set up here, because keep in mind, so we went every day, 2 days, day 8, then 3. So we went every day for 4 days. Then we went 2 days to day 6. Then we skipped again to day 8. Then we went 3 days to day 11. 3 days again to day 14. Now I'm going to skip 4 days to day 18. So you see how I'm gradually decreasing my frequency of touch as I go in time. Because again, like, I'm gauging their temperature. So I don't want to be bombarding them, because the last thing I want is to be spammed. So I want it to seem like I'm decreasing my touches. I'm just trying to be the guy that's there if they change their mind, because if they're going to change their mind, it's going to be in those first couple weeks. Otherwise, something major is going on and it's going to take some time, right? If this is just head in the sand type thing, I can't make up my mind. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. They're going to respond within those couple weeks. I've had it happen numerous times. But if it's something major, you need to put them on a cold sequence, and that's why I'm kind of fizzling out. So now we're on day 18. Oh, day 14 email was, hey, just finishing up for the day here. Do you think it'd be appropriate if we put this property on pause for the month? Was thinking we hold off on the offer and possible purchase. Let me know if this is what you were thinking too. Didn't seem like you were ready to make a decision yet. Again, pulling it away from them in the hopes that they either pull me back or confirm I'm right. Because now, after that email, I wait 4 days. And I go to day 18.
A classic Papa P pullback right there.
And so now, after I basically tried walking, I go, was thinking about ABC Street today. Whatever happened with that? I have it as a flagged item here. Fill me in on if you went another direction, if we're waiting on my team for anything.
Love that. A lot of good aspects of why I love that.
Oh, yeah.
You'll notice too, guys, for the listeners. So Papa P has his own perspective on getting like inbound emails from people selling him stuff or offering services. Be a little aware of how like you'll see those on your phone. How many come in right at like a set time, like 9 o'clock or 9:30, and see what companies kind of stagger them a little bit, doing like the 9:58, for example.
Gotta stagger.
I always just like, everything I do is based on me. Like, I'm very selfish in that aspect, like very self-centric, where I'm not selfish, but self-centric, where I base my decisions on my reality, like how I interact with things. And I make this assumption that how I like things is how most people are going to like things, right? So I'm like, well, if I check my email this way, I'm going to assume the majority of other people also delete their emails that come in at 8 o'clock and are annoyed by it. And I may be right or wrong, but that's the only thing I can go off of in life, right? Like, unless I take a poll or like a master poll of people deleting emails on what they do, like, I just have to go off of that type of thing. I do the same thing like with my direct mail and stuff, like how we used to handle direct mail. How do I pick up the mail? How do I throw the mail out? It's the same concept.
I love this message here. I think this is something that people miss. This is the day 18, the second text. like a lot of people when they write these sequences, that's very like granular, like a one-off. They're just like, okay, the text on this day should say this, the text on this day should say this. What you've got here is a second text on the same day that calls back to the first text. So I was thinking about the street address today, whatever happened with that. I have it flagged for my item here. I have it as a flagged item here. Fill me in if you went on a direction. And then you're like, oh, finally took a look into it. Looks like we flagged it to wait on response if you're putting a decision to sell, on hold, or not. So like you're like calling back to it's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, love so it. Not just that, but like even day 18 text 1 kind of calls back to day 14 when I walked, right? And now I'm like, oh, I thought about you again. So like that's what I was saying. Like the whole thing I thought through is like a very flowing, kind of process. And remember, this only works because of the time in between the messages. You can't send that freaking message if you're still hitting them up every single effing day.
Right.
Because now they know, yes. Like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean you just thought of me, bro? Like, you called me 5 times. Yeah.
I'm super busy with all these other leads that want to sell for 50 cents on the dollar, but still want to make sure I'm following up with you, though.
Yeah, you're like an Indian dude in some chick's DMs, just like, please send me pictures. Right. Yeah, like you're just desperate. So no, you have to space it out. So now we were on day 18. Now I'm going to day 21. I'm officially starting week 3 of this. And that's pretty much going to be the end, right? Like, it's just like, hey, morning. Did you sell the property already? Or just pause on making a decision?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I just need to know, because here's the reason why I said that. If they ghosted me because of another wholesaler by week 3, they're going to pretty much have this thing either closing, inspections done, or that wholesaler is going to give them the FU, like, hey, by week 3, like wholesalers are either walking it, trying to renegotiate it, or calling the seller like, hey, we're ready to close in a week. So I sent this one to see, like, hey, did you sell this already? Like, is this sold? Because if it is, they'll know if that wholesale. They may not have been willing to tell me that on day 10 because they weren't sure. But by day 21, they're going to be willing to say something. And again, later as it goes further, they're more willing to be like, yeah, I got this locked up, man. Leave me the alone.
Mm-hmm. Or in the opposite case of that, where the wholesaler is starting to ghost them, they'll be like, oh, I need to start like having my options open for other people.
Yeah. I'm that guy. I'm the last man standing. I'm here waiting for you. Slide into your DMs, bruh. So that was it. No email in the morning, just a text. Why? Because emails to me are more formal. And my text is more about like, wait a second, like good morning, like just thinking like, did you sell this? I don't need a formal email, but I will send an email at the end of the day. So, and again, it's going to kind of touch base with the same thing that I said this morning. They're all synchronized together. So it's like, hey, was heading out of the office today. Real quick, were you able to sell the property already, or did you just change your mind about and wanted to pause? So again, I'm looking for them to confirm, like it's okay for them. I'm giving them permission to tell me that they're done. Like that's the key here is I'm giving them permission to say that.
I like it. Really good stuff in here, Papa B.
Thanks.
Very solid stuff.
So, and then I skip ahead 3 days again, and I go to day 24. Now, keep in mind, I'm not doing as much now. I mean, I'm like fucking 24 days past when you told me to call you. Not even from when we spoke, but from when you told me to call you. So it could even be further. So day 24 is just like no text. It's just an email, right? And then a call, right? Whether it's a manual call or a dialer call or whatever. But it's just a very simple email. And it just kind of, again, references the time. So for like this email, as John's getting to it, it's good morning, just got into the office, right? Like, here we go. It's a morning email. Morning, just got into the office. It's been a while since we spoke. Never heard back on wanting to hold off on the offer. So what do you say? We hop on a call and discuss further? Obviously, we missed something before. Maybe we can make it right.
My grammar plugin here hates this message, which I think is funny. It's like the most underlined message so far. Exactly.
I know, I skip a lot of stuff like proper grammar. So instead of like, what do you say? We hop on a call, like that's bad grammar, right? Like, should we hop? But that's not how I wanted it to come off, right? Like it's just a quick typing, like, so what do you say? We hop on a call and discuss further? Obviously, we missed something before. Maybe we can make it right. And then we go to day 29. This is my last 2 days. So now I'm hitting them up again, text and email. A lot. But it was fun writing it. I was like, oh, let's do this.
That's
ready
cool.
For some more. So where are we? Day 29. Text, hey. So again, hey, it's been a while since we spoke. If you didn't put the decision to move forward on hold, must mean we missed something for ya. Let's try to connect and see what we could do to make it right. So this plays on the email from yesterday because I don't want to assume that they read my email from yesterday. So I'm okay repeating some of the same language because not everybody is a business person, right? Not like us. It took me a while to realize normal citizens, right, do not check their email like entrepreneurs and business people check their email. Like normal people, like service workers, just your average unemployed person, they're not checking their fucking email 7 times a day. Most of the time it's just spam messages from Target and Walmart and Amazon and like some pair of like jean company and sock company that they signed up for on Instagram. They're not here like, and it took me a while to respect that because I'd be like, I sent you an email. And they'd be like, I don't check my email unless somebody tells me to check my fucking email. And it's like, why? What kind of loser shit is that, dude? Like, check your fucking email, bro. But, plus you also don't know what type of email they could have given you their spam email and not their real email. I've had people do that where I'm like, hey, I did it for a lady the other day. And I was like, all right, I got your email. She's like, no, use this one. This is my real one. And I'm like, oh, thanks, motherfucker. I do it to people when I sign up for something. I give them my spam, and then if I like their product and I talk to them, like even like REI stuff, like the PPL, like they start off on a completely different email before like I'm ready to do business because I know I'm gonna get put on their effing newsletter and shit and like automated, so I don't give them my business email. I give them my Gmail or my Yahoo.
B2B is different than civilians. Like when I'm talking to leads, a lot of times they give like a Google Voice number or a separate number or sometimes multiple emails versus like civilians, like you buying a house from sellers. It's like they only got one number,
So John, I'm sorry, we were chit-chatting. So after that morning text on the 29th, we do an email. So here again is like very Stan. Not sure if you're getting these emails, but I'm guessing we're just not a good fit for this property, or maybe we missed something you were looking for, price, time. Would hate to think we weren't able to connect because I made a mistake on something like that. ... And then the final one on day 30 is all afternoon stuff, nothing early in the morning. I'm just assuming they're more active in the afternoon. I must have missed something on this property to have you change your mind. Looks like it must have been a pretty big miss on my part. Is there something I could do to fix it and see if we're still a good fit? That's my text. My email is, evening, I'm sitting here thinking about you. Evening. Evening, I'm sitting here thinking that you probably just need some more time on this to make a decision. Perfectly okay. Sometimes the offer might have missed your ideal number, just the details were off. It must not be something it must not be something you are not ready to make a decision on. John, you got to grammar correct me on that. That sentence doesn't make sense. Must not be something you are ready to make a decision on today. These things take time. If you had a tip for me on what the right offer or detail would have looked like to make you more comfortable moving forward, I'd be interested in hearing it. So it's kind of like that customer service request. Before I go, hey, listen, I understand you don't want to do this or that. Can you just tell us what it was? It's totally okay that you don't want to buy this product, but what was it that turned you off from this stereo?
Good evening.
Give me some feedback.
Good evening. I spent $250 from a lead provider to have a conversation with you. I need you to sell me my house so I can reinvest more money into my pay-per-lead provider.
Can you please tell me what it is that I missed so I don't make this mistake again, go broke, and fail to be a guru wholesaler? I would really appreciate it. Plus, it'll also help my refund status. And I may be able to get my money back. Not that it's your problem, but if it is, here's my Venmo. You're more than welcome to send me $250 to reimburse me for wasting my time and not talking to me for 30 days.
That's like the Jim Carrey movie, like Liar, Liar, just being completely openly transparent. So funny.
Well, hey, we did it. We got ourselves
a 4-week,
almost 4-week sequence. Yeah, no, I'm excited for you to have this.
This is really
in
cool.
Your system, all programmed in. I unfortunately have to depart the podcast quickly today, but we next week are going to do another sequence, and we'll be doing a little bit of a giveaway. So just kind of like how Brandon here today, if you would like this sequence, follow the YouTube channel, send him a screenshot of you following it to his Instagram, and he'll hook you up with this document. We will do something similar, but even better in the following weeks of us kind of continuing to dig into these sequences for different types of situations that you encounter with sellers. But this is good. Great writing there, Sir Papa P.
Thank you, sir. We'll do offer sequence for a verbal offer, and if we have time for a written contract ghosting as well, because let's be honest, every guru may say not to send out contracts without them on their phone, but even still, we either do, or on the phone, they lie to us and they still say, I'm not signing it. So what do we do when that happens? I want 2 sequences for either scenario, so that way I don't lose them in follow-up, because I just did. I had that scenario, called, didn't do enough touching, checked it out. It was sold and already back on the market while I'm doing my bullshit manual, and I'm like, nah, dude, I got to fix this. So we're gonna do it.
Love it. Sounds great. Cool. Well, we'll see you here next week. Same place, same time, same lovely people. Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one, guys.